Objective statements are passé. Frankly, employers don't care what you want. They care what they want and what you can do for them, which is why I was telling you earlier about the summary statement at the top, a couple of lines. Or you could do both, have a strong headline which will serve the purpose of telling the reader what you're looking for without being so blatant about the following. Looking for a position as a fill in the blank. So you can have a headline up there to really showcase what it is that you're looking for. It's much more progressive just in terms of resume writing standards, and the style is more appealing. Your resume is an appetizer. I always tell people, keep it short, keep it simple. It's not an opportunity for you to list everything you've ever done. Your resume shouldn't be a mini tome. It should really be more like a skirt. Long enough to cover the topic, short enough to keep things interesting. That's what I tell people with respect to their resume. If you don't like doing something or you don't want to do something, there's no reason to list it on your resume. There will be plenty of things you will do in your position that you might not love or don't want to do. This is not a time for you to put things on your resume that you don't like. And you don't want to date yourself. For the most part, I say go back 12 to 15 years of relevant work experience is plenty to provide someone with an understanding of what you've done and how you've achieved success in your roles. Old or deprecated tools or techniques do not need to be on there. Something from 1980 doesn't need to be on your resume. Likely you don't want to do that type of thing again, and it's probably outdated anyway. You don't show your education at the top of your resume unless you're a very recent graduate, and I mean very, very recent, and it doesn't matter where you went. The fact of the matter is that practical training, practical experience supersedes your education. Your education should come at the bottom unless you're a recent graduate. Your resume is really just the beginning. Your documents, all of your documents have to be consistent. Your cover letter, your thank you letter, any letters of introduction, an executive bio if you have that, any reference sheets, a publications list if you've been published, and again, going back to what I stated earlier about having matching fonts, formats, styles, all of these things are important. Your resume is the chance for you to present an aesthetically pleasing face before someone actually meets you in person. And you're going to want to make sure that the content and the presentation work together. I often tell people to use the SAR method for their resume, S being what was the situation. Describe a little bit about the situation. S. A, what was the action you took? And R, the result, SAR. Situation, action, result will help you create information on the resume that is short and to the point. I also tell people after they write something on the resume, ask yourself, so what? If you can't come up with a compelling so what, then maybe you should consider removing that information for something else. What is personal branding exactly? Really, you are very unique, capable of anything, phenomenal, accomplished, spectacular, special, extraordinary. All of these things are things that will help you define the content of your resume. This is the stuff that you're trying to share with people about why you're so impressive, about why your background, your skill set, the things that you bring to the table will make a difference for a potential employer. Don't be afraid to sell yourself. Your resume, your interviews, all of these things that you do to launch your career, extend your career, they're brand building. It's a sales exercise, and you need to get a little bit more comfortable with that. And I know from, writing for thousands of people and spending a lot of time talking with different levels of job seekers, how uncomfortable people get talking about themselves in this way. If you feel like you can't do that effectively, then perhaps it is time to look for a resource that can do that for you. I tell people, if you wouldn't fix your own dental work, this is the same thing. It's an investment in you, in your future, and your growth. If you feel like, on the other hand, you're good at talking about yourself and you're good at creating a strong personal brand and then bringing that forward not only in your verbal communications but in your written communications, then go for it. Building a web presence. Online resumes are also important in today's job-seeking environment. They they allow you to create really more of a 360-degree view of who you are as a candidate. They highlight key accomplishments, education. You can include things like a blog, if you write a blog, or Twitter, or Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can link these things to your online resume. And the beautiful thing about this is that it provides sort of like a one-stop shop for employers. They can go and click around on this thing, see who you are, and really learn about you in a more robust way.